All right, let's talk about Tua and the Miami Dolphins, who I thought Tua had another really nice game in this one. There was a stretch where the offense kind of stalled, and we'll talk about what went wrong there. I thought it was kind of out of his control a lot, though, and there was some really good stuff. So, again, against a team that they kind of, probably should have won by more. Let's be honest. This game ended up being a bit too close for comfort, but they're able to pull out the victory, and it was in large part due to their quarterback. So let's talk about what I think he was able to do so well and what the team in general was able to do so well. For example, this play, it's going to be zone coverage, and the way the concept works is you have a receiver who's going to run, more of a setup route, just kind of trying to get like 4 yards down the field, just trying to hold some Jets players further in that direction for the deeper route to hopefully get open. When this play begins, though, so Jalen Waddle, he's the guy running the setup route. You see right here, he's kind of looking around and saying, okay, well, I've kind of done my job. The Jets players over here are either staying with me or they're not. But right there's a big window. I mean, there's pretty much the middle of the field is completely open on this one. This isn't by design. Waddle's not supposed to do this. He just kind of reads the play, says there's an opening here. He steps in that direction. Tua, to his credit, reads this, realizes what happens, and look at how Waddle is able to run after the catch as well. I mean, man, talk about really good offense there. I mean, that's just what makes this team special when it's on, right? Is they can do these kind of things. They're a really smart team, really smart player by really smart play by Waddle there. Of course, Miami's always going to hit on some of these. It feels like, the way this play works is it's zone coverage, actually a zone blitz. They're going to, run a play action, and of course it's Mike McDaniel, so it's a little bit different of a play action. You're going to, fake as though it's more of a kind of like a pitch type play towards the top of the screen. But the idea is get the linebackers out of position, throw to Tyreek Hill, who's going more over the middle. Watch as that's what Tua does. He looks over here, and Hill is, he's open. I mean, this is schemed up pretty well. Again, for Tua, throws this one well, times it perfectly. I mean, that's right on the money, and they're able to pick up a first down. Both these plays were on the first drive where they scored a touchdown. When this offense works, it is a well-oiled machine, and it was working a good chunk of the game. Again, there was not a ton of possessions in this game, which is maybe why you might be a little surprised if you're just looking at the overall score, why I'm so kind of impressed. They only had 10 possessions. Keep in mind, one of those was an overtime possession, and another one got cut short due to time where they had to settle for a field goal because of it and still scored 32 points. I mean, that's pretty good. But, let's move on to the next play. Over here, again, it's kind of more of the same type of thing that we are used to seeing from the Dolphins, of this kind of schemed up stuff. This is actually that possession I was talking about where it was, cut short due to time. A touchdown was not going to happen on this possession, but you want a field goal, down a point, 19 seconds left, no timeouts. The way this concept works, once again, you have a receiver who's trying to hold Jets players, more over the middle. The receiver running deep is the one you want to throw to. Tua takes the snap, and he's going to get rid of this ball quickly. I mean, you see right when that window is open, Waddle is just cutting now. Again, this is kind of the thing we talk about with Tua, is throwing with anticipation, right? Throwing before your receiver is even going to get open, but you're trusting that your receiver is going to run the route correctly. And the reality is, this play doesn't work if you wait till he's turning around to make the throw. You need to make this throw a little bit early for it to work. That's why Tua's doing it. And as you see, really well thrown ball there. They didn't have any timeouts, but they got in field goal range, were able to hurry up and spike the ball. They kick the field goal and make it, and that allows them to take the lead. And again, they ended up tying this game and sending it to overtime, so obviously every point mattered here. Really good stuff here from Tua. As I mentioned, going over here, the offense did stall for a bit in the second half. There's no getting around it. They had a stretch where they had, in 4 drives, they punted 3 times. Now, the other time was a touchdown, so it wasn't completely nothing, but still, definitely got hit a bit of a low moment. And it was a lot of stuff like this. So it's a 3rd down and 10 right here. You have Tyreek Hill running just, this out route, kind of a one-on-one matchup, hoping he can win it here because he's Tyreek Hill. Usually teams have to defend a deep shot so much, when he's playing, that he can kind of win in these situations. Here, when this play begins, again, kind of what we talked about earlier, I mean, what is the thing with Tua is he throws with anticipation. He's trusting his receivers. So a lot of times it works, like that Jalen Waddle play I showed, but it's, kind of the disadvantage is that sometimes you make the throw and just have to hope it's going to work out. As you see here, it's Brandon Eccles, the defensive back, who makes that play for the Jets. So give him some credit. Very good play. But, that was just it. There was a few plays where the Jets, who, have covered well at times this season, it hasn't been as good as last season, but they have had their moments, were able to cover well at times this season. Or this game, I mean. But still, definitely, this was mostly Miami, and I wanted to talk about kind of the ending drives. It really was a lot of just consistently good stuff. Really, the most impressive play was the winner. Heading over here, it's a big spot, right? So, again, if you missed the game, Miami was down 3 points. They had a long kick return that got him kind of towards midfield. Tua made a couple nice plays there, made some nice plays in overtime, and then here in a really big spot, I mean, you want the touchdown, right? Sure, field goal is nice, but getting a touchdown, just being able to walk off the field, that's your goal when you win the coin toss in overtime. So what is Miami going to do on a 2nd and 7 at the 10 to try and get into the end zone? Well, first, Tyreek Hill is going to run a deep shot. And again, when you're playing the Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill is the guy you're paying attention to, right? He just is. He's going to take away a ton of attention, and so you're using that to your advantage. He is running a setup route here. That route, which is actually Odell Beckham Jr.'s route, is again another setup route. You're using Hill to take away the guys deep, Beckham to take away the guys shallow, and the fact that Beckham is the only wide receiver who is on the left side of the screen, that's also going to take away more attention for him. And then Jonnu Smith is going to kind of follow Tyreek Hill, just be a little bit behind him, both by design and because most people are going to be behind Tyreek Hill if you're running, right? And then you hope that area has kind of been cleared out and he can get open. Well, when this play begins, you see that Tua, again, uses his eyes, doesn't look at Jonnu Smith right away, but that's where he was going with this play. And you see, I mean, is it wide open? Like, kind of. This is open, but at the same time, you have to make sure you don't underthrow it or overthrow it, because a missed throw here, there's so much traffic both behind and in front, it could result in a turnover. So, really dangerous, I don't want to say really dangerous play, but an important play. You got to be accurate here. Tua, I'll be honest, I would have liked a little bit more zip on it, but hey, gets the ball there, and the accuracy was the most important thing, and he's able to be accurate. So Jonnu Smith, who weirdly, he had the most bizarre game of all time. He didn't have any catches until overtime when he had 3 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. So hey, getting it done when it counts. But yeah, as a whole for Tua, again, you look at the numbers and, 331 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's all good. The 37 attempts, though, efficiency was maybe a little down. But like I said, I thought a lot of it was there was a stretch where the Jets had good defense. And even when things weren't going well, a lot of it was like the Jets or the Dolphins were kind of trying to get a running game going, and it just wasn't working. I mean, Devon Achane in this game had 14 carries for 24 yards. Like, that's crazy a low amount. Did have a touchdown, give him credit for that. But as a whole, they just weren't running the ball. They relied on Tua. And yeah, I think Tua's played really well this year. I really do. I've been very impressed. I mean, Tua's played well for several years now, but I think he's been very good since coming back from the injury. Again, will it be enough? I don't know. I think they have to win out if they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think 9 wins would be enough, but they could win out. It's possible. They play the Texans, the 49ers, the Browns, and then the Jets again. Those are all winnable games, but got to keep winning to probably keep the season alive. At least that's how I see it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.